and dream deep. This evening, I thought it would be interesting to look at some common questions that people may ask about sleep and the possible answers to some of those questions. So, the first question is to a person can ask themselves is, am I tossing and turning in my sleep? Is my sleep restful? And that could be indicative of insomnia, where women are more likely to report problems with sleep, in particular insomnia. There could be other sleep issues like sleep apnea, which disturbs your breathing pattern. Um, Things beyond menopause can also bring on certain symptoms that lead to insomnia. Interestingly enough, most who may be stressed in some way, i.e., unemployed, they may be single, they may be low wage earners, also seem to suffer more with insomnia, which makes sense because of the stress. Now, another question someone may ask themselves is, am I having trouble breathing? And that could lead to be the result of something like sleep apnea, which I've discussed before in previous lives, where for some reason or other the autonomic system stops working and you stop breathing for a period of seconds or even up to a minute or so, which is quite dangerous for the health of the brain. Now, the sleep apnea causes brief pauses in breathing, and people may experience loud snoring or even gasping in their sleep. What's happening is that during this sleep apnea episode, the oxygen level of the blood has dropped and the heart rate increases, and therefore the sleep is disrupted because the person may wake up because they literally can't breathe. Now, this, of course, is going to have an impact on sleep quality, the number of hours that people actually sleep, their function during the daylight hours, and general health. Not getting enough sleep, as I've said many times before, can do much damage to our health. So that not getting sufficient number of hours of sleep, and not only not getting sufficient numbers of hours of sleep, but having poor quality sleep will have a major impact on our health. Now, falling asleep, the speed at which we fall asleep may or may not actually even be an issue. But if someone were to ask themselves, how long does it actually take me to nod off to sleep? Now, sometimes some people drop off before their head hits the pillow. Others take time to settle down and actually fall asleep. Everyone is different in that respect. But the thought that nodding off immediately is not a problem or is a good sign may not necessarily be the case. It may actually be indicative of something else. So, health issues, anxiety, depression, other things can delay the time that we fall off to sleep. Could there be some kind of serious issue going on? It may be from a physical as well as psychological view to look at a look at sleep issues that may be affecting you. If you know what you're dealing with, it's easier to rectify or at least address in some way and improve the situation. So if you think you're having a problem with sleep, it may very well be that it might be a good idea to have a conversation with your doctor about that, and maybe get some tests done. And if this is just intermittent kind of sleeplessness, for example, you may be stressed at work or something is going on in your life, then it may very well be that you can do simple things to be able to improve your sleep. And that's where people like me come in. Certainly will help you to get an idea of where you stand with regard to your sleep. Is it something that's easily rectified, or is it something that requires medical intervention in some form? Now, this is a question that a lot of people may ask if their parents is my child getting enough sleep? Now, there are recommended hours by sleep experts that certain numbers of hours are required for good health. My rule of thumb is that yes, between 6 to 9 hours may be the rule of thumb or the general rule that's given, but the number of hours that is sufficient for you is the number of hours that it takes for you to wake up feeling alert, refreshed, and able to function properly, full of energy. So when children aren't getting enough sleep to meet their age-based needs, whatever that may be, they are at risk of actually undermining their overall health. Researchers believe that sleep disruption may cause permanent damage even to certain areas of the brain, in particular the hypothalamus, which is responsible for regulating appetite and energy expenditure. Now, one of the side effects of insufficient sleep, as I've mentioned before, has been to encourage weight gain, because certain hormones that aren't being produced during deep sleep that regulate our appetites and help signals us when we are full are get out of whack. So that we may be poor sleep in our children may be setting them up for actually to be obese in later years. Question that people may ask is, do I have trouble waking up? Now, having trouble waking up depends, of course, on if you've had a sufficient amount of good quality sleep. So that if you're having trouble waking up because of various sleep issues or sleep disorders, naturally you will feel sluggish when you try to get up. Another issue that may come up is something called sleep paralysis, where uh, your your brain is awake, but your body is still under the influence of sleep, and our bodies automatically go into sleep paralysis so that we don't act out our dreams. Especially if you're might be slugging on a ball with a baseball bat. So it may not actually require treatment, but perhaps looking at your sleep routine may be helpful in getting you to sleep better so that you can wake up feeling more energized and more alert. Now, there is a big debate on this one about people getting tired during the day. So if the question is asked, am I tired during the day, there is a lot of debate as to whether taking a nap is actually beneficial. Studies have actually been done to show that even taking a short nap can increase our memory retention, our alertness, and ability to accomplish tasks. So taking a short nap, as long as you're not having trouble sleeping at night, may actually be beneficial. If your nap takes you into deep sleep, however, you find that it may backfire on you and you will not be able to wake as easily or feel as alert. So having a short, sharp nap, no more than 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes at the very most, can actually help you to re-energize and keep you going during the day. The next question that someone may ask themselves is, am I getting a solid night's sleep? Am I getting sufficient rest. And sleep studies have shown that those who sleep significantly less than the recommended hours for them, as I always say, may be operating under a constant sleep deficit. And you can't make up sleep. Yes, you can sleep the clock around and whatnot, but the damage that the lack of sleep has engendered has already taken place, and you can't undo it. Um, there shows that, for example, for men, one night of insufficient sleep is enough to make their fertility levels go down. So there is a physical toll that happens as a result of poor. You can't recuperate; it's done. Now, poor sleep it can lead to such things as moderate cognitive impairment. In other words, your thinking is fuzzy. Motor skill impairment. You're not going to react very well when you're driving. Your reactions and your coordination will be off. Your emotional stability will be affected. In other words, you'll be ratty attitude within attitude, and other people are going to suffer along with you. And weight gain, as I mentioned before, weight gain because of the imbalance of hormones that are produced during deep sleep, and a weakened immune system. So you're more prone to get sick when you're tired. And the last may ask, do sleep quickly. Get yourself to be the perfect sleeper because you nod off quickly. But even if you're dropping off to sleep and you're going into a deep sleep, and you could take a nap at the drop of a hat, or fall asleep anywhere, it may not actually be that healthy. It could be a sign of some kind of sleep abnormality, such as narcolepsy, which is I talked about just a couple of weeks ago, which is about literally falling asleep where you stand, or falling asleep into your soup bowl. Um, and if something like that were to occur while you were driving, obviously the results would be disastrous. So there you have it. So questions that you may want to ask yourself if you haven't been able to articulate them, or have been asking yourself and wondered what the answers might be. There may be many reasons why you have poor sleep. It's not just one thing. And really to be able to get a handle on your sleep issues, you need to pinpoint the sore points. What is keeping you awake, and then work on those issues. And that's what I can help you to do in a complimentary slip into sleep session. We can look at exactly what's going on in your life at a given moment, and pinpoint where the pain points are so that they can be worked on and resolved, or at least diminished. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and a week to come, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.